Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today we're going to discuss Taliban after USA impact on world politics. And yesterday, we already watched the speech of US President Joe Biden. And after completely just left Afghanistan on 30th, and criticisms were there, and he tried to counter the all criticism. And after the UNSC, I've just tried to read his speech, and after that we'll start the discussion and how the world politics impact and go on. So, President Biden on Tuesday hailed what he called the extraordinary success of evacuation of Kabul, and he vehemently defended his decision to end America's war in Afghanistan. One day after the end of 2 week rescue, 125,000 people from Kabul saw the deaths of 13 service members. Speaking from the Cross Hall at White House, Mr. Biden said the nation owed a debt of the gratitude to the troops who died in the evacuation mission. 13 heroes gave their lives. He said in his speech when he offered no apologies for either his decision to end the war or the way in which the administration executed that mission. We owe them and their families a debt of gratitude we can never repay, but we should never ever forget. So Mr. Biden appeared intent on forcefully rejecting criticism of the end of 20-year war in Afghanistan, offering a defensive recounting of his decision making and blaming former President Trump for negotiating a bad deal with Taliban that boxed Mr. Biden as his teammate. That was a choice, the royal choice between the living or escalating. Mr. Biden declared his tone angry and defensive as he opened the first minutes of his remark. I was not going to extend this forever war. Before Mr. Biden's speech, Jen Psaki, the White House's press secretary, had said the president would lay out his decision to end the war in Afghanistan after 20 years, including a tough decision he made over the last 7 months since he took office to bring the war to a close. And whatever, after that, president delivered the remarks almost 20 years after the US ousted the Taliban from power in the wake of the September 11 attacks, and just a day after the last American troops and diplomats departed the country, which is once again under Taliban rule. Mr. Biden quietly did not announce the news on Monday that the final transport plane carrying American forces had left Afghanistan, leaving the instead to Pentagon officials who briefed reporters for the plane after Afghan space. I'll also see just one reporter from Al Jazeera how all the aircraft as lying in the Kabul airport and not working condition. Very interesting report we'll also watch. And this is another development yesterday on UNSC front. The United Nations Security Council had adopted a resolution. India was in chair. UNSC adopted a resolution on Taliban and sponsored by France, UK, and US. Was adopted with 13 members, including India, voting in favor, none against it, but permanent and veto wielding members, Russia and China, have a stand. This is also the uh, important development on this front, and this impact on the world politics. Around the time US soldiers were escaping Kabul, the United Nations Security Council and India's presidency adopted a resolution that gave the de facto recognition to Taliban as a state actor in Afghanistan. The resolution is sponsored by France, UK, and US, was adopted with 30 members, including India, and voting in favor and against it. But Russia and China have a stand. The resolution first adopted after Taliban capture of Kabul on August 15 said that territory of Afghanistan is not to be used to threaten any country or shelter terrorists, and that the international community expects the Taliban to adhere to the commitment they had regarding the safe and orderly departure of Afghans and all foreign nationals from the country. And India's Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla chaired the session in which the resolution was adopted. India's presidency ended Tuesday. He said the resolution unequivocally conveys the Afghan territory should not be used to threaten or attack any nation, shelter or train terrorists. And this is of the direct importance to India. He said it sends a strong signal from the international community on its expectation from Kabul. UN resolution named the Taliban 5 times but did not condemn the grouping. Rather, it noted Taliban's commitment about the safe, secure, and orderly departure of Afghans and all foreign nationals from Afghanistan. The resolution also stressed the importance of maintaining humanitarian access, upholding human rights, reaching an inclusive political settlement, and combating terrorism. It did not, however, spell out any provision to punish the Taliban if they fail to allow such departure or follow the commitments. And uh, Vasily Nevenjia, Russia, envoy to the UN, said the resolution was not specific enough about the terror threats, did not speak of the brain drain effect of evacuating Afghans, and did not address the economic and humanitarian consequences of Washington freezing the Afghan government's US account following the Taliban takeover. And China shared some of the Russia's concern and criticized the U.S. for civilian casualties in a drone strike that American officials said hit a vehicle carrying multiple Islamic State suicide bombers. Beijing said the current chaos was direct consequences of Western countries' disorderly withdrawal. And after the vote, US Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield said, "We can't, we can't airlift an entire country to safety. This is the moment where diplomacy has to step up." She expressed disappointment over Russia and China abstention, while France's proposal of a safe zone in Kabul that will follow humanitarian operations to continue was not part of the final resolution. The final text called upon the Taliban to allow full, safe, and hindered access to the United Nations and other agencies to provide humanitarian assistance. So this is the latest all development on the Afghanistan, US, and all part UNSC. So start to a discussion with the Anita ji. Anita ji, welcome Anita ji, senior journalist and the external affairs specialist and from India, and we have just welcome Vandana Jhingan ji from the Chicago, USA, our senior journalist from Chicago and covering the all US affairs. So first, I'll take the on the comment on the US president speech from Vandana.
Namaskar and good evening to everybody. As we all heard, like President Biden spoke about it, he gave his stand, like why this pullout was necessary. And he said he is very firm, and this is my own decision that I have taken it. And I take the full responsibility of it. So you're talking about the reaction here. So there's a mixed reaction, to be honest. Means we from both the parties, from as well as Democrats as well as Republicans. So we know that it has been done in a haste. Everybody is aware of it. But President Biden giving his stand that 20 years, more than 300 million every day that we have spent, we have lost so many people. Not anymore. We tried to train the Afghani army, but even then they were not able to. So how long that we can go with this? Now it is a time for us to take care of the home. So when we talk about how the situation is, that's what your question is in the United States. So as I mentioned, it's a mixed reaction. Means, is it right? There is always, whenever you do something, there is always some part of politics plays. This is a global phenomena that we know that. Means, so which direction it is going to go right now, it is not. मेरे को ये डॉक्टर की कॉल है. I will continue later.
No problem. No problem. Oh, no problem. So just no problem. So just Anita ji, just how just the Joe Biden just reacted on the all episode after just vacate the place of the Kabul and all same. How do you analyze and how just see the UNSC resolution also, just understand on the Taliban affairs, not for the terrorism and not protect the other, and just protect the humanitarian all protection to the all people of either Afghanistan or outside of Afghanistan and the foreigners also.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. First of all, I want to say that if the the whole world is now accepting that yes, one terrorist organization who is claiming nowadays that they will now become a good man, one criminal, one lutera, one terrorist who is claiming that I want to rule this country and I am promising you that I become a good man. And the world power is accepting it and they're trusting on it. So I think it's a new kind of experiment the world is doing. I think from corona terrorism to Taliban terrorism moving towards. And the corona terrorism has emerged from China and spread it all over the world. This Taliban terrorism is a baby of America and now it will spread across the world. Even the America thinks that they will be in safe corner. It's quite impossible. America has done a secret deal with Taliban on the name of the Doha Agreement, and we have all seen what kind of pointers and terms and conditions they have put in Doha Agreement and how Talibanis are following that. But still they are claiming that we will run our Afghan government in a very peaceful manner with Sharia law. And again, including UN, the United Nations, US, and all powerful countries of this world, they are urging that we should give chance to Taliban and we will keep eyes on them and we should react with a wait and watch manner. So I think the corona has gone. Now the Taliban is here, and America is still. The Florida, Texas is suffering from corona. There is no bed, there is no oxygen. But where is that report? I don't know. The Biden has promised that within 90 days I will be come up with one corona report, and it will be the fact-finding kind of report, and we will put all the facts in front of world. But that report, it is not here. We all know. Actually, Taliban is a baby of America, which has brought up by Pakistan. And now I think the scenario is saying that there is a secret deal with between China and America also, that okay, yeah, theek hai yaar, that corona has gone and I will not put you in any that kind of circumstances. Now I want to come out with this Talibani kind of uh, army actions. So now you handle it, and we will do secretly, togetherly. We will be the power countries on Asian zone, and Central Asia will get disturbed. Then both China and America will get benefited. This is the, I think this is the strategy which is coming on, because
Okay.
this is very surprising that the whole world is accepting Taliban very easily. Yes, they can be a good person. Now the bad man is going to be a good. So we should accept it. We should wait and watch. We should give them chance, and we should. So why the India will take any kind of panga? Because of this Taliban, not India. It was the USSR who was affected. It was the. I'm telling you how many terrorist organization is still functioning from the land of Afghanistan, and not the Al Qaeda is a great threat for U.S. and a European country and the America. The Haqqani is a great enemy of America. The ISIS is a great enemy of America and US and European countries. And the Taliban is a great enemy of Pakistan. The I am telling you one of the Chinese the EGIM, that is the EGIM, that is the work against China. The East Turkmenistan Islamic Movement, it is active since 1998, and approx 5,000 the terrorists of this organization is functioning from Afghanistan. They have given support to the Taliban during this all the war and bloodshed in Afghanistan and Kabul and all that. So why we are handling Al Qaeda and Jaish Muhammad and Hezbollah since long time, I think from 30 years. Now we will handle the Taliban also. But India has passed the resolution, and 13 countries has signed on that resolution in UN, that and Taliban has also agreed on that yes, from the soil of the Afghanistan, any kind of terrorist activities, it will not be act against India. If it will be happen, we will see. We are also waiting and watching.
Not against India, not against all the signing.
No, India is concerned about the India only. The whole world should think about them. The America should think about them. Al Qaeda, the Asim ul is there. The second man of Osama bin Laden is now in Afghanistan. Al Zawahiri is in Afghanistan. The Sizaudin Haqqani is in Afghanistan.
Okay, you are right.
ETPI is in Afghanistan. So America should think that they have feeded the terrorist organization like Taliban and Haqqani, and they have the two face. The हाथी के दांत दिखाने के कुछ और खाने के कुछ और, अमेरिका ने ये प्रूव कर दिया है. So India knows that how to handle this kind of situation. India is expert in counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency. The whole world is doing exercise on this front, that I should learn the counter-terrorism techniques from India. It's America also, it's Soviet Rus also, it's Australia also, and other countries also.
Okay.
They are doing the exercise and learning the techniques, how to handle the insurgency and terrorism. And India is handling it since long. So India is perfectly right, and we should support our country. I am with my country.
Okay, so nice. Thank you. And Rakesh Tiwari ji, after just the second, welcome Rakesh Tiwari ji and Alok Lahad ji, both of you, and Alok Lahad ji from Spain and Rakesh Tiwari from Toronto, Canada. So Rakesh Tiwari ji, just my question to you. This is how just after our subject Taliban after US impact on the world politics. So and you have already must have seen the resolution passed yesterday by UNSC, signed by the 13 countries except Russia and China. What do you think? What will be impact on the world politics after this new role of China and Russia, and how they have reacted?
Well,
they have not clear on the terrorist activities, and the resolution is not clear on humanitarian ground like that. How do you analyze?
Okay. Let me say this, and you have very rightly what you have asked the question that 13 countries in the UN Security Council have signed. 2 countries they have not signed. But yes, when you look at the number, it seems okay. Wow, look at it. With the majority, when you go with the country-wise, it seems nothing. But at the same time, when you look at the size of these 2 giant countries, which is China and Russia, is a huge, and you have to take recognize of it. Why did they not sign it? So let's put it this way: the world is in my understanding, in we have is in a new format. We are. I will say I will use proper the Hindi word new Naya Dhruvi Karan. Okay, so
New
the world is
polarization. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. Sorry.
Polarization. Yeah,
Yeah, new polarization. See, here you go.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
better English than me for sure. And Alok ji and all of you and Nita
No, no.
ji.
I just try to learn. I just try
No,
to
no, no.
learn
See,
the English.
I'm
Yeah,
see
please,
polarization
please,
was
please.
not coming to my mind, but
Yeah,
you said it rightly. Thank you.
yeah.
So this is new polarization. So where we are seeing China and Russia is going along with each other, definitely because their common enemy is United States and NATO. And I will say definitely Russia has a reason to. Miss United States has done anything and everything to and what I'm not going to go there. So Russia has his own reason, China has his own reason, and while we have to play as a Hindustani and Bharatiya very diplomatically and at the very cautiously, because whatever the steps we are going to take, we are not taking it for today. We are taking for
Tiwari, you were talking the world politics, so India is also part of that.
I'm
Please.
talking about the Taliban. I'm talking about Taliban situation.
Yeah.
So when we are talking about, so just understand this part that
Please.
we are in a delicate balancing act, and I'm liking today right now the Modi government's approach towards it. Whatever in the media it is coming there, we are not looking at the glass of our of US United States or Russia or any other country. We are looking, and I love the foreign policy of Modi government for all the good reasons, the way they are doing it, because they are looking at our own backyard, diplomatically they are looking at it, and meantime keeping the pressure that if your land, your places in anyhow used against Bharat, we are not going to take it lightly. So that part is definitely it is there, and I'm 100% with the government of Hindustan and Bharat. Now, in this, what can happen? Everybody has to wait. West has completely failed, and let me say, every time I'll come on the any program in the world, I'll say, United Nations have failed. Now, new polarization is on the urge,
Okay.
and
Okay.
there is a one line I will say. Let me complete this, sir. Then let me complete this line now.
Please.
Why conception? My question to United Nations is this: since its conceptions, they have not increased their permanent member. So they were working for a simple lobby of 5 countries, and the world is not only these 5 countries, whosoever they are. So they failed it miserably. Now, even I will say we need a new United Nations, and this has failed miserably everywhere else, Iraq,
Okay.
Iran, everywhere, and even to Afghanistan. Thank you.
Alok ji, just Rakesh Tiwari ji just raised the very big question. The United Nations has miserably failed to just do their job and work for the country and for the nation, for the world. Do you agree with that? And how just UNSC adopted the resolution with as I'm also reading the input from the Russia invited UN. The resolution was not specific enough about terror threats, did not speak of the brain drain effect of evacuating Afghan. And just the China is same shared the Russia concern, but India concern is the on that, but they are just trying to integrate the Taliban commitment. So safe, secure, and orderly departure of Afghan, and India says no, acceptable. Adopted India's presidency. So no trained, not to accept the charities, not any other activities, and just for the safer zone for local community and international community.
Okay, what Tiwari is saying, I agree with him that United Nations it's no force, so to say. Like, it's a meeting, you have formal meeting and you meet, and nothing really comes out of this. But I think he's confused between United Nations and UN Security Council. So what does happen is, like, UN Security Council has 5 members, but United Nations has all the members. Now, what happens in United Nations is that there is lobbying, or in any other UN body, there is lobbying. For example, if we talk about WHO, why did Trump decide to leave WHO? Now, Biden
Yeah.
has again come back to WHO. It was that because China was not even contributing. Most of the donation which comes to WHO or United Nations, America pays a very large part of it. European countries are not paying, and a lot of countries are not paying. India, by the way, at once upon a time on WHO was paying more money than China and Pakistan joined together. Later on, China increased its fund. So it is not about UN as a body is very nice. It works perfectly. But what happens is that big countries like United States or China or groups they join together, and then they take it for a hijack. So what I don't understand is that in case something goes wrong with a country, let's say there's a country like Afghanistan, United States is the first one to do the global policeman. They go and send their forces, and there is not even a UN sanction onto this. I mean, this case is not placed before United Nations, and it should be done that in case something like this is there, it should be done. It should be decided by the United Nations, and UN forces could be sent, or UN could agree that okay, we will send the American forces or the NATO forces or whatever. Now that is not happening. So in so to say, like we can say that UN bodies as such are failing. That is because major, these powerful countries, especially, and there Tiwari is right that these big countries, but I have never seen, for example, Russia doing something like this, or France doing something like this, or UK doing something like this. So the only two countries which we've seen, which doesn't go by the mandate, is because they think they're more powerful than the United Nations. It has been basically US itself and China. So that is the first part of the question. Now, what happens to the rest of the world after Taliban? My own hunch is that Taliban right now is trying to do a facelift. They're trying to clean their face and show to the world that they are, something different. They've already purified themselves after taking the holy water. But time will tell if this is true or this is not. I mean, for example, this situation is in a way similar to like lots of these MPs had written that Modi ji should not be given the US visa. Then he became the Prime Minister of India. Now, what do you do with him? You don't let him come to US, or you don't let him come to UK or Europe. Now, we are into a catch-22 situation right now, that Taliban, who were into the terrorist list of United Nations Security Council, suddenly you are in a situation that the Americans have handed the power over to them. They didn't win. I mean, they're celebrating and they're doing everything that, okay, we won. And my question is, they could have stayed there for slightly longer, and they could have supported even after the, exit of Gulani. They could have stayed over and probably handed over the power to the vice president or chosen another president and then carried on with the democratic system. But they chose not to do this. They chose to withdraw. They had a backdoor treaty with the Taliban. And then all the other countries, we were forced to accept the decision which was taken by the United States of America. What happens after this? So we are all the nations who were with United States of America, they are in a jeopardy. Like, for example, we have placed too many eggs into the American basket lately. We are no more non-aligned. We are no more non-aligned because after the fall of USSR, USA became the supreme leader. But now if the supreme leader does not know how to lead, then we have a problem. And now this is happening with all the NATO countries also. It is going to happen with India also, or all the American allies who have, contributed in Afghanistan as a force. It could be a military force, or in case of India, we decided not to send our military there, which I think was a wise decision. But because of American pressure, we did contribute into social construction of the society. So which will pay its own dividend to India, which I think is a right decision. But right now, all the countries, which include, I mean, I could talk about Israel. Israel is in the same spot like India is. Now you have always been with Americans, and Americans changed their posture. They were against the Taliban, which they themselves created, and then instead of giving the power to the democratic group, they give it to Taliban back. Now what do? You
So
can't
now,
do much about it.
on this whole scene, Alok ji, I'll just trying to show a video, and after that I'll take comment all of them. Just after the exit of America from the Afghanistan, just see the video, and I request to all of you that after just this is I think max 2 minutes video. After seeing that some report from the Al Jazeera, credit to goes to him, and one reporters how just brief about the after exit of US. Please show the video, please.
Side of the airport. This is where the Americans vacated from last night. You can still see their planes, equipment, helicopters here. The Taliban brought us here, and last night their mood was one of joy, celebration. They were shooting in the sky. There were fireworks. They were very happy that the Americans had left. The mood here today is quite different. They are disappointed. They are angry. They say they feel betrayed because all of this equipment is broken beyond repair. They say that they expected the Americans to leave helicopters like this in one piece for their use. When I said to them, why do you think that the Americans would have left everything operational for you? They said, because we believe it is a national asset and we are the government now, and this could have come to great use for us. So they are very disappointed that a lot of this equipment cannot be used any longer. Over to my left is where the commercial side of the airport is. Zabihullah Mujahid, who's a spokesman for the Taliban, said that they hope to have this area operational in the coming days, which would allow people who want to fly out on commercial flights to do so with visas. So while the evacuation efforts have finished because foreign forces have all left, the Taliban say that they are going to stand by their word, which is to allow people to fly out commercially when they get everything operational. We understand that Turkey and Qatar are assisting that with them. I can tell you that I saw dozens of people arrive even to our own hotel with equipment and personnel ready to support the airport getting back on its feet, engineers, that type of thing, to try and get these planes running again. But here on the military side, nothing will be operational anytime in the future. The Taliban disappointed, as this is what the Americans have left behind.
Just you saw a very interesting report I found. How what will happen to all the properties and all the assets that left in Kabul airport. So I'll take the first reaction from Vandana ji. Sir, first, then all of you just on this. Yeah, please.
Well, let me come before Vandana ji because
No, Vandana ji has not started actually.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I took Vandana ji's permission for one reason. Definitely, with all due respect, Alok ji is here. Alok ji has mentioned that somewhere I was not able to make the differentiation between United Nations and the UN Security Councils. Let me say this: the UN governing body, we are saying, is a UN Security Council. That's who they send. They send the army. They send everything. Okay. Without let me put it the other way around, just for the sake of it. And then Vandana ji and you guys went took over what you showed it on the Al Jazeera as well. That minus security councils. If you minus Security Council, what is left of United Nations? And a lot of time, United Nations have sent its forces where these things happen. So just for that sake, I'm
Tiwari,
just
my
clearing it
request
up.
is different.
Sure.
My request is,
No, no, sir.
I just only taking on a comment on that. You are just diverting the issues. Actually, I'm just focusing on this video clips. Please
Okay,
focus on
so
that.
video clip which is showing.
In next program, we'll do the reforms of UN. That is already pending in so many ways, and a discussion is going on. Please.
Well, my submission was that United Nations have failed. Put it this way, 2021. That's very clear
Sir,
for me.
I'm asking your comment on this video clip.
This
You are talking
video,
about the
okay, so
record.
this video what Al Jazeera is doing, they have shown it around there. Okay, I have watched it too. Okay, my humble understanding, the media reports are there, people are over there, and it's absolutely, I mean, it's their angle. Al Jazeera has its own angle, no doubt about it. But other than that, I don't know, miss, what significance it is bringing out Al Jazeera, which we don't know. Thank you.
Sir, I'm not talking about Al Jazeera. I'm the Vandana ji can easily understand now with all angles of the reporting angles and the camera angles. Vandana ji.
First of all, like the amount of equipment which has been left and the time the US has given to people for evacuation, it would not have been sufficient to damage all. This must be some little handful of it just for photo op. They are showing it and trying to get the sympathy of the world. The Taliban's, they are pretty good in it, that we were thinking that we will get all the things to use. And then there was one statement, they're saying, oh, they have left so much, but how will Talibanis will be able to use it? They will not have a no knowledge of it, how to use these equipments. And I would differ on that, because in today's time, they are somewhat, they say the dirty mind goes ahead of the cops, because cop goes with the limitation of the rules and regulations. For the dirty mind, there is no rules and regulation. चोर जो है पुलिस से ज्यादा आगे चलता है, because they can figure it out how to. And so this is another. And Al Jazeera, we all know their reporting, like, so how it can be trusted.
Vandana ji, Anita ji, just I'll take the comments of Anita ji. I'm not talking about Al Jazeera here, actually.
No, I said I'm just saying that. I said that from that
whatever the
perspective.
on the spot reporting, how just all the read the paper, just there's the visuals. How the visuals is the so many planes on the left, the Kabul airport, and they are no use now, and they have been literally destroyed by the US people. Anita ji. That's why
look,
I take the comment on that.
US has given chance to Al Jazeera to please do this kind of reporting.
Maybe.
Please go ahead.
It may be.
Please go ahead. Because we all know that these aircraft, they can fly, and they should fly, and they should go to their motherland. But they are on the land of the Afghanistan,
all
that
this
is now
literally other reports.
in the hand of the Taliban. We have seen. Please, Rakesh ji, in that
I have to just comment one thing, Anita ji.
If they are coming to they were rushing to the airport, that is Hamid Karzai airport, almost 1.5 months they have spent there. They have that kind of enough time that they should put all the arms and ammunitions in these aircrafts. And please, at least to that Hamid Karzai airport, these aircraft can and should fly on that time to minimize the threat of these Talibanis. Now they are flying the Chinook. We all know what kind of Chinook is. They are enjoying the ride of the Chinook, and they are doing with all the AK-56 and all that.
Okay.
Kumar Rakesh, can you just clarify what you wanted to really show with this Al Jazeera? Because we watched.
Actually,
what you wanted? What was your point there?
Actually, I'm giving the points. Actually,
Al Jazeera report. I just want to add one line. Then you can answer the question of Al Jazeera. We all know the reporting
Rakesh
of Al
Tiwari.
Jazeera. It's always, always. But now, always, always
No, no, Anita ji,
pro of
don't,
Islamism.
not,
But
sorry,
now the
sorry,
America
no,
has given
don't,
chance.
don't,
Yes,
don't,
go ahead. Do this kind
don't
of it, but
don't
we are
minimize the
ready for
importance of,
that because
no,
as
don't
per the
undermine.
Rakesh ji, the new polarization of the world is going on, and America just
Anita, you are
want to
going to divert
show.
the issue, please. You are going
I
to divert
I
the
am
issue.
Also,
just want to
there
add
is a
on.
secret
Please,
deal with
please,
America. America has a
please, please,
secret deal with
please.
the China
Kumar
also.
Rakesh
I'm
ji,
telling you,
clarify
in
please.
future,
You are the
in
host, you are the
future,
anchor, you showed the video.
Anita ji,
in
Please let me
cabinet,
know what
it
is
will
the matter.
remember
Going,
with
What is the issue
Anita
only?
ji, Anita ji, this is not good.
I just want to add
You are
on
going to
because
divert the issue now. I'm
I
focusing
just
on some point. You're trying to divert, Anita ji. Sorry.
I just want to say one point, Kumar Rakesh ji.
Yeah.
In that, it was claimed whatever has been left, now we are the government, we should have been having it. That is so hilarious for them to expect it becomes the national property of Afghanistan because now Taliban is ruling Afghanistan. So how could they take anything? So anyone living human, like and any living entity or whatever belongs to that belongs to this terrorist group called Taliban.
Okay. I think. Sorry.
Can you clarify, please, your video
No.
with the purpose
I'm
of
going
your
to
video,
I'm
please?
waiting for my
no, no.
I'm
First take the
waiting for
Alok
my
ji.
turn. If I start speaking over others, then you will not speak at all.
Please. Just this is Alok ji and then Tiwari ji, the last now.
Okay.
Alok ji.
Now, first of all, you did this mistake of putting Al Jazeera report on this. The first one to report this was WION, which is our own Indian channel. So I think it would have been better for you because what has happened right now, all the three panelists, the moment they saw Al Jazeera, they thought, oh, this is not a very... So you should choose the right partner, Kumarji.
I'm
Now,
not
what
partner. I'm not going to. I found.
I know, but the moment you say courtesy Al Jazeera, you are
I'm
validating
only
them.
interested in the visuals.
I agree
I'm
with
not
you
Al
that you are
Jazeera and
not a
other one.
partner or anything, but you have chosen the wrong channel to put the video. You should have taken it from beyond and people would have agreed with you.
No,
Okay, having said
actually,
that,
Okay,
let
let
me
me
the
come
come down
down
to
to
visuals,
the
the
sir.
point
Tiwari.
why this has
No,
been done.
Yeah,
no. I
yes.
missed out on part. I'm only
No,
talking the
don't get
visuals.
defensive like Tiwari ji gets defensive. You get defensive. You said something, you've done something. There is a reaction, take it. There's nothing wrong with it.
No
Okay?
problem.
All
But
right.
I'm talking the visuals.
Now, I'm talking about visuals only. You
Yeah,
should
yeah.
not have taken Al Jazeera's visuals. You should have taken Beyond's visuals. Anis is the person who's reporting from ground zero, and he's doing a fantastic job. And he's from our own international channel. Let's support them. Why not?
No problem.
Okay.
No
Having
problem. No
said
problem.
that, he has also shown the same kind of visual. There are others who have taken their footage and they are showing it also. This is a fact. Most of the equipment which has not been left. So I was wondering to myself, why did they leave it? They could have flown it. Obviously, there is a distance. It is not a Boeing. It is not an
That I
Airbus.
wanted to.
You can't
That
fly
I need to know.
from, let's say, Afghanistan till United States of America. But you have got bases everywhere on Earth. Why didn't you take it away? You could have put certain pilots there and said, okay, that was the easiest thing to do. Fly away with your own. Maybe if there were tanks, there were no tanks, so they would have left. I think they are not stupid. I don't think there is any kind of polarization. United States is going to be in command. They have made a mistake, whatever. They have put lots of their, allies into a jeopardy in a very, difficult situation. They don't know what to do. But anyway, we'll mature from all this. This is a fact. But I think there is another catch there that these equipments can be repaired. But who will dare to come and repair it for Taliban? If China comes and repairs it, they will get exposed. If Pakistan does it, they will get exposed. If USSR does it, they will get
That
exposed.
is the point. Then you
all
got it.
these
Yeah.
equipment has been left there for a reason. Don't think the people there sitting in Pentagon are stupid guys. They are not. The politicians could be stupid, but the army men are not.
No, never. That's the
May I?
point. Tiwari,
May I?
the last take,
Well,
please.
great.
Russia will repair it. Don't
Okay.
worry,
No,
Russia.
no, don't bend
Anita
it
ji,
there,
please let me have my say. Okay, I'm
Please,
glad
please,
to see you
please,
smiling. Okay,
please,
and
please.
laughing as well. Okay, now let me come back to the point what Alok ji has raised very rightly. the thing is that what has been mentioned, what he has mentioned, that who is going to report and Pentagon is not stupid or whatnot, definitely raises the questions. First thing, I'm unable to comprehend this fact that these were US properties, as they had sold to Afghanistan government, and they taken up money, so they cannot take it away once the documents come
Not
out.
sold.
That's one point.
Not sold.
If
Not
they have
sold.
not sold it, it was US property, and they had every right to take it away. But if they have not taken it, they had taken some parts of it, so these aircrafts cannot function. Honestly, it shows that how incompetence and how, whatever they are doing, I'm unable to comprehend. I cannot comprehend this fact that they will take some parts so it cannot function. And then I will say, if I'm Afghani government, if I'm running the Afghani government, I have the every goddamn right to go anywhere in the world. I'll get it fixed. And I'm not considering United Nations as my friend, United States as my friend, because occupying my country, I kick them out. I have place. I will buy from the after the market, black market. I'll get it from China. I'll get it from Russia, because they are both against United States anyway. So United States policy, what they are doing, I'm very sure that even in United States, ex-army general to all the current dispensation, they must be scratching their head. What are we showing? What are we doing? And why are we doing? What is portraying? Because I'm unable to understand this. If I'm, they have run away.
Okay. Last take, Vandana ji. Last take, Vandana ji. Thank you, Tiwari ji. Last take, Vandana ji.
लंगूर के हाथ में अंगूर,
Too also.
लंगूर के हाथ में अंगूर, बंदर के हाथ में उस्तरा.
Yes. बंदर के हाथ में उस्तरा, right word है.
Please remember the Jimmy Carter operation in Iran also.
And let China take the responsibility of repair, as China anyway doesn't like it.
So now we can say now we can say this is a impact on the world politics.
Rakesh ji, just two lines. When
Please.
57 Americans was captive in Iran, and Jimmy Carter has taken one decision to, I will bring all my citizens from Iran on my own soldiers. What happened on that time? मुंह की खा के लौट के आए थे. American, they are not good fighter, yaar. They are try to understand. They are the boastful. They have the boastful army.
No.
Come on.
The equipments.
Anita ji,
You can't.
They are not a business.
America is the only country who went miles away and fought for the world. Don't say that. Yeah, please.
Anita ji, you touched the wrong button.
Okay.
I am telling you,
Actually-
just go through the Iran operation.
Okay. I'm not going on
You're
that.
rubbing the nose. That's not right.
13 army personnel
Now
lost their
I'm
lives and
concluding
operation
now.
was
Concluding
failed.
now.
I want to say something on the equipment which has been
It
left.
was US only who told and who warned India about the Kargil before. Remember that. Thank you.
Just to wrap it up, for the equipment left in, I'm trying to explain it to Tiwari ji. I mean, this is not an ambassador car spare part or a Tata, truck spare part that the Chinese will come and fix it, or some puncture wala will do it from where.
You're right.
But you're talking about the government of a country.
No, Tiwari ji.
They're not Panchwala as well.
No,
They have a support of Pakistan as well as China.
Which probably could be able to do it, and if the
Well,
right part
actually-
is not there, these
They have
machines
stayed with US
can
but
be done.
and not
As
as
good
well.
as that.
No.
Right from their country.
So nice of you, just running the time
Thank you.
already late.
Thank you.
So nice of you.
Yeah, I'll have.
I think whatever I shown the visuals, my concern with all the visuals, not Al Jazeera or any other, but thanks to Al Jazeera, footage was there. So I just try to show
No, the
you.
footage is very much there on Beyond. Please check it.
Okay, no problem. I'll check it again. Whatever available, just try show it. Not an issue. So
Alok ji, please beyond से बाहर निकले. Al Jazeera को भी थोड़ा
Please,
footage
please.
दे दीजिए.
No,
please don't make the comment, please.
They're nice.
So
come on.
Actually,
Kumar Rakesh just used their footage.
Please concluding, sir. I'm just going to end up. Please.
Everybody laughed so much today. We have never laughed so much.
Yes,
So nice of
absolutely.
you.
Today.
That's good. That's I put
Including
the video
Anita ji.
individuals. Sir, please. Actually, Actually, just as we just analyze how the UNSC resolution, how the China and Russia reacted, and after the latest statement of Mr. Joe Biden, I think it will be the great impact on the world politics. We have to see how the world will uh, given the new scenario after this the Taliban new reformation, we can say. We're talking the reform of United Nations or others, that is a different issue. But if Taliban restrict themselves just like a civilized political parties and the organization, I think world will world should accept them. I think so. Otherwise, whatever there the pros and cons and if what are there and concern there. But my observation is if Taliban change themselves, that's okay. If not, the all G7 are there, United Nations are there, UNSC is there, and time will tell the another story. Thank you. So nice. And thanks to all participants and all panelists who just joined this special show on the Taliban after USA impact on the world politics. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.